Good evening, everybody. Here we are once again, the modern day revolutionary on the Patriot Hour. Little relaxing music. How we doing? So, today I'm going to keep it kind of short. The main thing I want to talk about today is just October 9th. I want to make sure that gets out as much as possible. Happy hour, good to see you. Raymond Rosenberry, hello, and Freedom Spirit, good to see you. I want to make sure everybody who can get there gets there October 9th, 9 a.m. This is Central Standard Time, Illinois time, to the Lake County, Illinois Courthouse in Waukegan, Illinois. We are going to be doing a Support Kyle rally. I want to make sure that as many people are there as possibly can be there. Brian Kalfas, Fred Brand, good to see you both. It's important. This is extremely important that we don't forget this kid who did manly shit, quite honestly. Under extremely dangerous circumstances, handled himself like a fucking expert. Very, very well done. And I want to make sure that he knows that the people support him in what he's doing. It is extremely important that we get that understood. We can't have the only people out there being these jackasses who are trying to spin the narrative that he's some horrible person. Happy hour. The McCloskeys were just indicted today. That's the couple out of St. Louis. So what a ridiculous thing. I mean, thank God they're lawyers, so at least they'll have a fighting chance of handling that themselves. But Angie Jones, good to see you. And I've had, I got to say, I've had a lot of discussions the last several days about the state of our country. And people don't seem to get that where we're at. I want to explain this. I found the perfect analogy for where we're at. Leonard Ross, good to see you, man. I found the perfect analogy for where as a country we are at. Many of you all have played Monopoly growing up through the years. Monopoly's a great game. I used to play it a lot as a kid. Have played it a few times with my kids. There's a point in the game when you play it long enough where you're the losing party. You're losing. You maybe have one, maybe two monopolies with a couple of houses on there. The other person, potentially if there were other people, they've fallen out and lost. And the other person you're playing against has all the other properties, and they're just racking up hotels left and right. And there's that moment where it's their turn to roll the dice, and you just hope they land on your property. You're hoping like there's a frickin' chance that if they land on your property, it will immediately bankrupt them, and you will win the game. And that's not the thing, but that's what goes through your mind. That's how you feel at that moment. You feel like, God, if they could just land on my property, I would win. But the game is over. The game is already over. It is impossible for you to win. And you just haven't come to that realization yet. And this is the problem with our country right now. The education system, they own it. They've already put hotels on it. The police, in great part, they own it. They've already got hotels on it. Politics, they own it. They've already got hotels on it. Military, they own it. They've got many hotels on it. I mean, just lawyers, judges, they own it. They've got hotels on it. And we're betting and we're hoping that they just land The roll of the dice means that they land on our Trump monopoly with a house or two on it, and we win it. And he's one guy. He's not going to be able to fix this whole thing. Best case scenario, if he masterfully runs the next 4 years, masterfully handles the unrest that will happen during the election, at best, we've bought ourselves 4 more years. At best. So where do we go from here? Where do we go? They own it all. They own social media. They own media. They own distribution lines. They own the shopping stuff. Like, where do we go? We are not headed towards socialism. It's not the state we're at. And I don't want to bring anybody down or depress anybody, but I want people to start understanding the real situation of where we're at. Leonard Ross, the one question I would ask, and I've heard this multiple times, Donald Trump's going to drain the swamp. What part of the swamp has been drained so far in 4 years? I mean, because I hear a lot of promises from A.G. Barr on behalf of Trump, but I don't see anything actually occurring. Hillary's still there. Obama's still there. All these crooks are in charge. They're still running a good part of the show, and I don't mean the Democrats. I mean politicians. So, I'm not trying to bring anybody down. That is not my point. We just have to start. We have to start acting and formulating from the real position this country is in, and the real position this country is in is that the system is broken. The system is so broken that it cannot be fixed by the system or within the system. The system destroys anybody who tries to get in it to fix it, or it throws so much red tape in front of them that they just get beat eventually. Eventually they just they're destroyed by the amount of hassle that is thrown in front of them with red tape. So, that's where I'm at, is like, where do we go? What do we do? And happy hour, that is 100% the thing, is they don't own us, right? They don't own us, or you, or me, or a ham radio wave. Now, they do have technology to be able to shut down ham radio waves, just to be clear. They can actually shut those down and block them if they want to. They did that in, what was that? Was it Katrina or Sandy? I forget which one, but they've done that before. Chris Schlick, good to see you, man. The swamp just grew. Erased Comey crew phones. No swamp had been drained. It's two-headed snake now. Exactly. And Brian Kalfas, Trump is only giving us a fighting chance. I agree 100%. I am not a believer in the fact that Trump is the answer. Trump is a stall tactic for us, but we have to do it. And we're not going to elect our way out of this. We're not going to vote our way out of it. We're honestly not going to litigate our way out of this. I used to love seeing that. Well, why don't we just sue them? Good luck. Keep going at it. I mean, look at this cuties shit. They're gonna pay that. If they get found guilty or whatever, they're just gonna pay it and keep on rolling. It doesn't matter to them. They don't care. I don't know if anybody saw this article, but Cuties was indicted by a grand jury in Texas. They are going to be charged with crimes because of the promotion and distribution and advertising of that Cuties film. So I believe they're primarily going after the two co-CEOs of that company in that grand jury indictment. But I mean, hell, what does it matter? It's kind of like big tobacco back in the day. Like they'd pay out millions of dollars. It doesn't matter. They're making billions. Who cares? It'd be like, suing Amazon. What's that going to do? That dude, the amount of money that dude can throw at shit is unreal. He doesn't care. Yeah. Bren's Way, start a Patriot community. Honestly, that's where I'm at. We need to start getting together. We need to start getting together, and until we get together, and this is the scariest part for me, just seeing as far across the country as I can with my communication lines that travel quite a ways, seeing the lack of people getting together, seeing the amount of ego-driven battles and disputes and groups falling apart because of ego, because of petty disputes, because of bullshit, infighting and whatnot. Seeing all of that worries me. Worries me greatly. Let's put it that way. Greg Milthal, Revolution 2.0 is inevitable. I honestly agree, and I honestly believe that is the only solution. If there is no Revolution 2.0, if there is no war, then we go quietly into the night as patriots, as a country. Our freedom just disappears silently. And only in a war is there a chance that it might not. Is there a chance? And keep in mind, this is just a chance. It's not guaranteed. So, yeah. Leonard Ross, it is up to us to drain the swamp, either by voting the crap one out or doing the second, just saying. Yeah. I honestly think it has to be the second one. The second paragraph of the Declaration of Independence, I think, needs to be enacted, quite frankly. I don't know when the right time is, but that is where I have come to. And again, I'm not trying to bring everybody down, but what I can tell you is that voices like mine and others that are out there are being continually silenced for a reason. And it's not because our voices are so dangerous. I mean, they are extremely dangerous to those in control. And that's the thing, right? That's why I say the system is not going to fix itself, because politicians make too much money with the system the way it is. They're going to fight to keep it. Lawyers, judges, they make too much money with the way the system is. They're not going to let it go. Even police, the crooked ones, they make too much money. They're not going to let it go. You want the social media, the media, the education system, that they make too much money off of the system being as corrupted as it is. They're not going to let it go without a fight. They're not. And you're not going to get in there and switch it from the inside. That's just not going to happen. It's not. Hey, Knox 600, good to see ya. Hold on here. What do we got? Chris Schlitt. Trump has done a lot for blacks, done a lot of things other than drain the swamp. Totally bummer, because that was what I was looking for. Now I know the government is incompetent and shady. Enemy. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and the government all the way around. Yeah. Raymond Rosenberry, need to have white hat hackers take down Craigslist where Soros recruits his gang. And that's the shame of it, is that we can't get people together enough to do that. It really is. Sleeping Masses, I like you, man. We already at war. September 2020, Pentagon. I mean, we have been at war for decades. It has just been a Cold War. It is now on the brink of going hot. And here's the trick, right? They're already trying to make it go hot. Antifa, BLM, Anonymous, these groups, NFAC, and whatever hell these other groups that are popping up now, black militia groups. They are trying to make it go hot. They are taking the actions, assassinations, attacks. They are trying to do their best, and we are not engaging. It takes two to tango, and we haven't gotten out of the chair yet. That's the issue. And until we do, because we know better. We know that war is bloody. We know that what war will really bring, so we're hesitant to want to get into it. And I understand that. But here's the thing. What I'm not willing to do, I'm not willing to pass on this responsibility to my children. I'm not willing to make it their problem. And many are. Many are okay with that idea. Many are okay with saying, you know what? If I can just delay it so that I can die peacefully, it won't be my problem. No, but it'll be your kids. It'll be your grandkids' problem. It will be theirs, and they will have to fight, and I am not willing to. I am willing to do what I have to do now so that my kids can know peace, can know freedom. And that's where I'm at. So, let's see. Happy hour. I am probably soon going to be silenced after that statement. I wouldn't doubt it, yeah. Let's see. Happy hour. Christopher, you're missing the big picture. It is not the left against the right. It is both sides against big government. Well, it's actually the left and the right in politics against us, because they're both the left and the right are for big government. But I get what you're saying. You're talking about, left wing and right wing citizens. Yeah, and I believe actually that it's left-wing and right-wing politicians or the system, both wings of the system are part of the same bird that's trying to devour us. So, yeah, happy hour. I mean, I get what you're saying, and I'm just going to spin it a different way on you. That's all. Love you, man. Let's see. Tim Coverdale, good to see you, man. Leonard Ross, you were right. I really started look at the past, and this socialism started a long time ago with the seatbelts, insurance, income tax, and much more. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's crazy when you actually look at it, and this is the one thing that, to Al's point, if you actually look at the left, the citizens that claim to be on the left, even Antifa and BLM, they know something's wrong. And to Brian Kalfas's point, it needs to be torn down and it needs to be rebuilt. And they see that. They actually do get that. They get that it has to be torn down. They don't get what it has to be rebuilt as. I think those of us in this group do. Like the Constitution is the thing. We have to rebuild it with the Constitution in mind. With the God, what was it before the Constitution? Why am I going mind blank? The Confederation of States? No. Completely going blank on that. But we need to take a look at those documents, and we need to reenact those. We need to get that back. Yeah, the Articles of Confederation. Thank you, Bruce Hoffman. Thank you. The Articles of Confederation. Yes. You got it. We need to reenact those pieces back into our government and strip it back down to bare bones. We do have to tear it down in order to get that, because it has just grown to this giant... what was it? It was... oh, God, my mind tonight. I haven't had enough Mountain Dew. That's the problem. It was Dogma, the movie Dogma. If you watch the movie Dogma, there's a scene in there where this shit monster grows up out of the toilet, and it's just one turd stacked up on top of another. And that is what our government has become, is just one more turd on top of another until now it's this giant shit monster. At the core of it are these great documents that actually, if we stripped all the crap off of it, could be fantastic, could lead people to everything they want on both sides, would get what they want. But yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. We have allowed, and not just us, because our generation is only part of it. The generation before mine, and the generation before theirs, and the generation before theirs, and the generation before theirs have allowed this to get destroyed, have allowed more crap to be piled on and piled on and piled on and piled on until now we can't even see those documents. They don't really exist in practice anymore. They don't. I mean, tell me what state the Second Amendment truly runs free is. Like, there might be a couple, but most of them, no. Most of them have at least some laws somewhere that limit the Second Amendment. There are laws that limit the First Amendment. There are many laws that limit the First Amendment. And, you know, it's laws have been stacked on top of those. And it's disgusting. It really is. And we've just gotten to a point where it's so much, it literally has to be torn down and rebuilt. There is no fixing it from the outside anymore. It's just not a thing. And the first step to that is we need to start coming together. You know, we've tried to do this over and over again. We've tried it with different things. I'm going to keep trying it. We're going to do this Kyle rally, support Kyle event on October 9th. That's the whole point of this episode right now. But after that, we just got to keep trying. We got to keep getting people together, and we got to get together offline. People keep thinking that we can just do this online. It isn't going to be online. We need to be offline talking. We need to be offline forming groups. That's a lot of the reason why I started traveling and going out to different places, is so that I can meet more people and I can get involved in more groups. So that we have these things built and we have the connections and the ties in all of this. Happy hour. Yeah, I mean, even Chris knows that Trump is a much better choice than Biden. I think he's just disenfranchised, as I am becoming, in the idea that Trump is going to fix it. So that's I think really where it is. Designated Blue Eyes. Hey, good to see you. Designated Survivor show is really good, and the Congress got attacked by people from within. Yeah. Let's see. Hold on. Let me scroll back a little bit. Mike Dano, Jobby, good to see you. Brensway, hello. SM Larson, glad to have you hopping on. If I didn't say so already, Bruce Hoffman, good to see you on here. Captain Deplorable, hello, man. Who else did we have hop on? Blue Eyes. Grey Wolf Brat, hello. Grey Wolf, what did you say? It amazes me on how many people are asleep and don't see what the hell is going on today. Trying to wake them up, but they fall asleep again. Truly fucking sad. Her words, not mine, but I 100% agree. It's crazy. It's crazy. Even people that are very close to me that I know something is wrong. They just believe that Trump is going to magically fix it if he's elected. Kind of like, okay, well, sure. So let's say he gets elected, and let's say there's not some crazy riots. Well, what does he do? Where does it go? And it's either this ambiguous idea of, well, yeah, like somebody said, well, he just drains the swamp. He just fixes it all. He just, he arrests all the bad people, and everything magically goes back to the way it should be. And those are the ones who realize how fucked the system really is at this point. The other one is, he just calms everything down and it goes back to the way it was. That's the more prevalent one. People just want it to go back to the way it was. Like under Obama, like when we were still in like deep socialism, but we weren't yet in unrest. They just want the unrest to go away. That's all they want. They just want it to go back to the way it was, like under Obama, where it was quiet, And these are people who are pro-Trump. They just want it to if it could just be quiet again. I don't want to know I'm being led to a gas chamber. I don't want to know. I don't want to talk about it. Just so long as we can talk about pleasant things on the way to the gas chamber, I'll be fine. Can we go back to that? Because I don't like talking about unpleasant things. And I mean, it's fucking sad. It's sad. And the other ones are almost just as bad that think Trump's just going to start arresting people. Him and AG Barr and the FBI, they're just going to get out there and they're, as soon as the election's won, they're going to be out arresting Hillary. They're going to throw her in Gitmo. Obama's going to get thrown in Gitmo. And, it's just all going to get better. Everything's going to get better because he's just going to arrest all these people and throw them in jail, AOC. And no, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Soros, Bloomberg, they're not going to get arrested and thrown in jail. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I guarantee that. LFR, thank you, man. Do me a favor, guys. Please like the show. Please, turn on notifications, subscribe. YouTube has a nice little game going right now. What they do is they unsubscribe people. Just keep unsubscribing people from the channel without even notifying them. So it's really getting kind of crazy with that. We were on a steady, 50 to 100 new subscribers every day. And then now we're losing about 10 to 15 subscribers a day on average. And without being able to add additional people through Facebook and sharing on there, then it's just like they're literally just going to unsubscribe everybody within the next month or two if it keeps up at the pace it's at. But I think it's actually in the next week or so. They're just going to start shutting them down. They already went through and demonetized half of the videos, which is just crazy. But anyway, Tim Coverdale, if Trump wins, he can only start it. We have to be the ones to carry it on in later years. Yeah, I mean, we need to start it with him, honestly. I think that's a majority of the problem. Chris Schlitt, Josh, what do you think could happen to make the people get up? I think, honestly, there needs to be a war. That's the only thing. There needs to be a clear-cut war. Clear-cut sides. There needs to be, clear-cut definition of who's who, and that's the only thing that's going to get some people up, and not even all of them. Jesus, LFR, the notifications aren't going out on time. That's the other thing. I've heard that one from Greg Wiles for quite some time. Happy Hour, his share option has completely disappeared. Bruce Hoffman, Kamala is going to be the real president, and the goal is going to be to get Trump kicked off Twitter. Yeah, I mean, probably actually out of the country, quite honestly. Sleeping masses, the military needs to wake police up. The military's half asleep, quite honestly, and then the police are well behind them as well. Freedom Spirit, thank you for sharing out. Appreciate that a ton. Chris Schlitt, one of the Angry Vikings YouTube went down. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Chris Schlitt, Josh, what do you think would spark a war? Honestly, I don't know. Somebody was telling me about a great book. I forget the name of it. He was one of the guys I met out in Louisville. Older gentleman, very, very knowledgeable, great guy. But and maybe somebody else knows the name of the book. He just gave me a general summation of it, and basically, here's kind of the plot line of it, and this is going on longer than I intended tonight. So hey, it's not a shorter broadcast. Sorry, I lied. But anyway, so the story of the book is, I guess this guy gets wrongfully punished, and from what I understand, he kind of he defends himself, and it becomes people start to make it into this big big thing, kind of like back in the day in the Wild Wild West, how stories would travel, and they would get a lot of notoriety of like Jesse James, and Jesse James not Wild Wild West, but that kind of thing, like Wild Bill Hickok and this that kind of stuff, and the stories of Jesse James even before that. How they would travel, and they would become like folklore, and they would become these great tales, and they would inspire other people to do things. And that's what happens in the book, is more and more citizens come up and start resisting the tyranny and the bullshit. I honestly think it's going to need to be something similar. I think there's going to need to be an initial instigating Boondock Saints type of event. And then other people are going to need to be inspired in order to carry that on. I honestly believe that's the way that's going to go, and more people are going to keep joining up and keep doing it, and then it will grow to a critical mass, and we can actually do something. So. Greg Milthaler, you're still just stuck with us, the core group. Hey, I don't mind. Grey Wolf Brat, I totally agree. Josh on the war. Yeah. LFR, in Biden's latest ad, he is saying he will state a national mask wearing mandate. Jesus. I saw that one. Yeah, that's going to be crazy. Captain Deplorable, think about what forced the original 13 colonies to turn. Honestly, so kind of how that went was there were the Loyal Nine, right? The Loyal Nine were the first and original rebels. They weren't even fighting for independence. They just didn't like the taxes. And what they would do is very similar to what Antifa and BLM are doing right now. They hired this guy, and what he would do is he would gather up giant masses of angry mobs who would go do shit. And these nine would stay within the crowd and hide within the crowd and direct the crowd. If things were going too far, they would pull it back. If things weren't going far enough, they would push it forward, and they would kind of direct from within. And that Loyal Nine kept growing, and eventually the Sons of Liberty came in and they kind of merged. At which point, then the Sons of Liberty, along with, I believe it was 6 of the original 9, did the Boston Tea Party. Right. And then because of the Boston Tea Party, which, was a covert operation in the middle of the night, attacking their money line. That's what it was. It was attacking their money line. Very Jesse James like. Jesse James went after the money. That was his tactic. He attacked the money. And I think that's a big part of why they're pushing this cashless society right now, is because if you can't take out the money, you can't take them down. You cannot take them down if you can't take their money out. Anyway, sidetrack there. But they went after that, and they did that. And then the retaliation for it was the Boston Massacre. And, a bunch of innocent civilians got attacked. And, quite honestly, at that point, that's when people said that was enough. When the other side was drawn into attacking innocent people. Now, the interesting thing, Captain Deplorable, on that is we're already at that point. We already have innocent people being attacked, and nobody's rising up. It's not happening. Bruce Hoffman, there has to be some sort of spark first. Well, here's the thing. Like, we have already had several sparks, but we haven't, like I said, it takes 2 to tango. We still are just sitting in the chairs watching one person on the dance floor, doing a solo tango. That's Antifa and BLM and Anonymous and NFAC and, all these guys. They're just up there, doing their tango all by themselves. And we're just sitting in the chair. Nope, I'm not getting out there. I know what happens when I dance. I'm not getting out there. I'm not going. I'm not going. And we watch a guy get assassinated. Car drives up, puts 2 in his chest for no reason other than he had a Patriot Prayer hat and he had a Back the Blue sticker or badge on his little bag. He was assassinated. They tried to attack Kyle. They beat people senselessly. They drag him out of their cars, try to beat him, and we're not engaging. We're not. We're just sitting there watching all of it and going, no, I'm not getting up. I'm not getting up. I know what happens when I dance. I'm not getting up. Nope. Not making me. I'm not getting up. So at what point do we finally get up and say, fuck this, dance off, let's go? You know, like the Proud Boys, quite honestly, are about the only people that are actually doing it. Michelle Sanders, good to see you. The Proud Boys are the only ones that I have seen actually stand up and start whooping some ass back. And they're getting attacked for it, you know, by all measure, they are being called white supremacists. Even the president, you know, came out the day after the debate and said, you know, and I do condemn them. So, you know, I mean, in the same breath, he also said, I have no clue who the Proud Boys are. So, I mean, it's hard to condemn something when you're clearly saying, I have no idea who they are, but in all honesty. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at. And we're not getting up there and, you know, we're not getting up there and doing the same. Michelle Sanders, good. Awesome. I said hello to you. Who else do we have hop on? Backwoods Bruce, man. Good to see you. Good evening, Josh. Some Patriots are trying. We just need to get more on board. I don't know if they are scared or what, but when it comes to their door, it's going to be too late. Exactly. Backwards Bruce, 100%, 100% right on that. 100%, 150% right. Scale of 1 to 10, you're like 15 right. It's crazy because that's what they think is when it hits my backyard. That's when I'll get involved. I mean, first off, how has this not been hitting your backyard? Like, this has been in your backyard. It has been there. This has been in your backyard. I don't know how many more times I can say that. The mask. I mean, the mask mandates. Shortages on supplies, the cash shortage, the lockdowns, like those are just the recent things. I mean, how are your fucking taxes, man? How are your taxes? How much taxes do you pay? I pay a shit ton of taxes. I pay like slavery rate of taxes. I mean, it's insane. Like slaves got, even got some money. They got a portion of what they earned. But that we're like losing so much money, property taxes, sales taxes, income taxes. Inheritance tax, death tax. It's crazy. Like they tax everything. Everything is taxed, and you're taxed multiple times on the same revenue. It's insane. So how's this not in your backyard? How's your Constitution? Like, I mean, I don't know. Can you own a gun? Like the laws that a felon can't own a gun, that unconstitutional. Right, it's just straight up, right? Unconstitutional. Why can't I own a bazooka? That like unconstitutional. Not that I would. I mean, well, I do. I would want one. I would want a bazooka. But all of this stuff is like, this is all the stuff that is in your backyard. And by the time they physically come to your door and are kicking in your door, it's way too late. Like Backwoods Bruce is saying, like it's gone at that point. It's over. You're lost. And we have to get more people together. And honestly, that's the hard part, is getting them together, let alone even, figuring out what to do after that. Yeah, happy hour. Now is the point. Absolutely. Blue Eyes, if war does start and we already see that the left is not being detained or let out the next day, so what do you think police is going to do with us if we get out there and attack? And that's honestly part of it. Is I think there needs to be we need to be smarter than they are, because they have all the backing. So, we go out there, we do our thing, we get done, we go home. But it's not just Antifa and BLM. Like it honestly is the entire system. Like we can't just defeat Antifa and BLM and then like, okay, cool. Let's go back to the way it was. Because the way it was socialism. We have to completely strip this sucker down and bring it back. Like we can't be duped into thinking it's a race war. We can't be duped into thinking it's just a war with the left. It's not. It's an entire system that has to be reset. We need the Great Reset, honestly. But we need the Great Reset to reset the Constitution and possibly, quite honestly, to bring in some of that Articles of Confederation. So that's my opinion on it. We lose if all we do is go beat Antifa and then go back to the way it was. We lose. Bottom line. Grey Wolf Rat. It's in everyone's face and people still turn their heads hoping it will go away. Yeah, they do. Bury their head in the sand. Absolutely. Oh, God. Backwoods Bruce, I want a cannon, and so does Leonard Ross. I'm formerly 13B Field Artillery. Awesome. I was actually, I was a combat engineer, so I wanted to play with explosives. So I'd like, some C4, some dead cord, all that good stuff. I'd like some of that, quite honestly. Let's see. Happy hour. We have all become American slaves. Just think about that for a moment. And there is only one way for us slaves to break those chains, as Biden said. Yeah. And because we're, you're talking, we got the Federal Reserve, we got the IRS. Cool. Those completely distorting the entire system. We have the government being corrupt as shit. Right, making deals. We have the Supreme Court thinking that they can rule from the bench. Multiple courts thinking that they can actually legislate from the bench. We have executive branch individuals at state level who are writing executive orders that are completely violating not only the U.S. Constitution, but their state constitutions, the laws on emergency powers. These guys literally think they're freaking dictators. You have the education system is completely corrupted. We have such an unbelievably large police state. It is so crazy when you think about it. If our founding fathers, and I've said this before, if our founding fathers were here today, they would lose their shit. George Washington, Thomas Paine, Thomas Jefferson, Ben Franklin. I mean, just name them on down the line. All of them, all the famous founding fathers. If they came here today and saw the police state we have, the welfare state we have, the amount of taxes we have, the one world bank that we're part of, they would lose their shit. And we need to be thinking with that one. WWGD. What would George Washington do? What would that dude do if he came here today and he saw this crap? Like, seriously, ask yourself that. What would he do? He would lose his fucking mind. Like, this is what you did with what I fought for? Holy Christ. Yeah. Anyway. Captain Deplorable. Yeah, we homeschool as well. It's really the only way you can go. Blue Eyes. So don't you think defunding the police is a good idea, since they are definitely not on our side and making us comply to tyranny? I am all for defunding the police in a responsible manner. I believe, quite frankly, the only police that should remain is the county sheriffs. That is my personal opinion. I think all of the rest of it needs to be wiped out. There should not be state police. There should not be city police. Those are bullshit ideas. And fairly recent ones, like the idea of state police is less than 100, or city police is less than 100 years old. It was started in New York, 1904, I believe. Maybe it's 14, but somewhere in there. It's less than 100 years old idea. No, wait. Maybe a little over 100 years. Sorry. It's 2020. God. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, we need to do it in a responsible way. Scale it back. because the other thing too is, as you're doing that, what has happened is there's a scale of responsibility, and responsibility of citizens, responsibility of law enforcement. And what has happened is it was like this, where citizens were responsible and police had very little to do, and people took care of their own shit. But what has happened is the opposite. So now citizens are responsible for nothing, and the police are responsible for everything. And we have to, as we defund, as we scale those back, we have to bring people's responsibility for their neighborhoods back up, which is the entire idea behind the Patriot communities, and doing that kind of stuff. Because if we don't do it that way, it's just gonna collapse into anarchy. In which case, that's really what they want to do. Is the left really wants to create anarchy in order to institute communism in this country. That's really what they're trying to do. So we have to maintain control of that. Sidewalk closed. Good to see you. Welcome to the channel. We need to defend personal liberty and freedom before that is lost. I agree with you 100%. Let's see. Backwoods Bruce. I wanted to come in tonight and give you a like and share offline tomorrow. Spending time with my wife before I head up to Waukegan Thursday. Awesome. Backwoods Bruce. I look forward to seeing you up there too. Thank you, man. I look forward to meeting you. I'll be right out in front. Let's see. Yeah, happy hour. We have the pissed off people and the power. Yeah, absolutely. We have the pissed off people and the power, but we have to unite to use it. Our voices are not good one at a time or even 10 at a time. We have to have thousands and tens of thousands together to make our voices heard. And that's the only way we're going to make them heard. And we need to do more than talk, quite honestly. But we'll see. Yeah, sleeping masses. What are we going to do about the landowners overseas? Quite honestly, that's like, I think bottom of the list of things we need to take care of. But it does need to be taken care of. Bruce Hoffman, the polls in 2016 put too much emphasis on the national polling. Trump blew his lead in Florida and North Carolina. Yeah. The polls are nonsense. They're definitely way off. But yeah, guys, I here, one more quick shout out. Anybody in the area who absolutely can, Friday, get your asses up to the Lake County Courthouse in Illinois, Waukegan, Illinois. It's October 9th, this coming Friday at 9 a.m. We're going to be gathering between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. The court date is 9 a.m. We're going to be outside, and supporting Kyle. Bring some signs with you, make them up if you need to. If you don't already have something just laying around, like Antifa. We're not going to have a U-Haul full of signs just pulling up for us. So, make sure you bring a sign. And let's show this kid that we support him, please. We need to support this kid. He handled himself amazingly in just defending himself, and he's getting the shit into the stick. You want to have a good time? Look up the meaning of that phrase, by the way. The shit into the stick. Funny thing, but anyway, we need to get up there. We need to support this kid and show him that we support him. He's not going to be there, but I am 100% positive that the lawyers are going to bring back that information to him. As well, we may actually have media out there. I'm not quite sure whether we're going to or not. I'm sure somebody's going to be surprised at what's going on out there, especially if we get 50 to 100 people out there. I'd love to see that, So, guys, I invite all of you, October 9th, 9 a.m., get your butts out to Lake County Courthouse in Waukegan, Illinois. Join me. Join a lot of good patriots that I know are going. We have people coming all the way from Indiana and Kentucky to come up. And I'm looking to meet all of you that are going to be able to make it out there. So, let's show this kid some support, and yeah, blast that Free Kyle hashtag out, as much as we can. And everybody, do me one final favor. When this is over, go back in and drop a comment. Not in the live chat, but in the regular. It helps. It for some reason it helps with the the algorithms. So, and definitely share it out. Hit the like, all that good stuff. Because yeah, YouTube is up in their censorship game for sure. So anyway, guys, that's it for tonight. Yeah, we'll see you soon. Keep it patriotic.